Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. I hope you are having a fabulous day today. I just wanted to pop on very quickly, and I will try and keep it as short as possible, and talk to you about OCD. And it may have trigger warnings, so I am going to say just, be mindful of listening to certain parts of this. But basically, my 15-year-old, or now 15-year-old daughter, back in 2020 was diagnosed with OCD. In actual fact, it was 2021 she was diagnosed, but COVID hit us in 2020. So most people, or a lot of people, don't think intrusive thoughts are anything to do with OCD. I certainly didn't. I thought OCD was more about your germs, about having things lined up perfectly and tidy and all that sort of stuff, and it actually isn't. That is some of it, of course. The biggest part that we struggled with as a family was the intrusive thoughts. So when my daughter started expressing certain things, it was to do with germs to start off with, which was kind of manageable. We did everything to keep her safe, and there's only myself, my two daughters at home. So it was, trying to keep everybody safe, taking precautions if we went out, if we went into the supermarket, because I couldn't leave my youngest daughter at home when she was kind of, having these episodes, which were daily, which were all the time. So if we were going into a shop, I had things like the rubber gloves for her. She always had a face mask anyway. The hand sanitizer, everything, to reassure her, keep her safe, and to make sure she knew that she was okay. Then came intrusive thoughts, and wow, I have never ever in my life heard anything and seen anything quite like it before. Her intrusive thoughts were all about distancing herself emotionally from myself and her bigger sister. So I would be, say, for instance, chopping potatoes. She would be thinking of all the ways that I could die, that she could kill me with, she would tell me on a daily basis that she wanted me to die, and she'd be thinking of ways that could happen. She wouldn't sit in the front of the car when I was driving. She always loved sitting in the front of the car. She wouldn't do that because, again, it distanced herself from me in her mind. One of the things that actually hurt the most and affected me the most was she had stopped calling me mummy, and she'd also stopped telling me that she loved me. That went on for about 18 months. She never picked up on, where she left off with calling me mummy. She called me mum, and that's been it ever since. And that, I believe, was to separate herself emotionally to her. Calling me mum distanced herself. If she was to call me mummy, that means that she was close, she was emotionally connected to me, and she wasn't allowing herself to be. So yes, and other things that she used to say was that every time she had something to say that was related to her OCD, she would tell me, Mum, I have a worry. They are the words she used to use before telling me that she wanted me to die, or she, wanted me to crash the car. And it is heartbreaking. As a parent, it is heartbreaking. And it's just really, this is more about raising awareness of OCD, because it isn't just the typical germs and having your pencils lined up in a straight line and having things folded a certain way. You know, there's so much more to it, and I didn't know that. I was ignorant to it. I hadn't done my research because I didn't know I'd ever need to. You know, so that is basically what was going on there. But I also believe that, you know, and I'll do another video on this, but having a child who had early life trauma contributed massively to her then developing OCD. But like I said, I will do another video to do with SEN children anyway. But I just wanted to you know, like talk a little bit about OCD and how it affected the family, because I was very, very close. Now I have special guardianship over her, over my daughter. So biologically, she is a half niece if I was looking at biology, but she's my daughter through and through, because, you know, that's how she's been brought up, and that's what she knows. But, you know, so just for anyone out there, I've just said she had early life trauma. That's not from me. That's from her earlier life before me. But it's just really just to kind of, you know, let people know that OCD isn't as simple and as clear-cut as a lot of us think it is. There is so much more to it. And it took a long time to get support. And now, you know, we have an amazing therapist who work with us together, you know, but working with her together. Like, I'm with her while she has her sessions, and working obviously with myself for my own issues. But yeah, that is a little bit of an insight into our world of OCD. Okay, have a great day.